welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, the only show right now on Indian television where you, the MSME, get center stage to voice your opinions and thoughts. This is ET Now's special daily initiative to give MSMEs and entrepreneurs the opportunity to be front and center in every industry and area that matters to you. On Influencer Tonight, we're bringing a conversation with Stepathlon, and on Leader Focus, we're continuing our focus on the wedding market. Tonight, bringing you a segment on the wedding clothing industry. Do stay tuned. We talk very often about the importance of staying healthy for corporate India and why health is so low on the priority list of entrepreneurs. Doing something about how we view health and staying healthy is Stepathlon, a community-based wellness platform that encourages mass employee participation. I did this interview earlier. Take a look. Thank you very much for speaking with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, Ravi. Let me start by asking you to talk to our viewers about your company, about your business model, where the idea for that came about.
Well, Stepathlon is based on a very successful model from Australia, which we thought back in 2012 was applicable for India and many other markets. So we took that concept and migrated it to India. And it's based on combating sedentary lifestyle in the workforce, so fundamentally, through gamification of both daily and focused activity.
So you think that Indians are open when it comes to the concept of exercising, they understand why you really need to exercise? Do you think there's that awareness and understanding?
I think there's a real awareness of the increase in lifestyle disease, especially post-liberalisation. And it's called lifestyle disease because of the way we live our lives. And I think what India needs, like many developing markets, is to understand what it takes to combat lifestyle disease. It doesn't actually take that much. You don't have to go to gym every day. You don't have to have fancy equipment. You don't have to have a lot of time. And through Stepathlon, we want to show people that even with limited time, space, and money, you can still be healthier, happier, and more productive. Okay, so just break down the business model for us. How exactly does it work? Well, the business model is very simple. It's like any other mass participation event, like a marathon or a triathlon or a cyclothon. You pay to participate per person. Our clients are the companies and the participants are their employees. And generally companies pay for their employees or they do a co-pay. The format is, it's a virtual race, or as we say, a race around a virtual world. Employees participate in teams of five from single or multiple locations. And they go about their daily activity, both focused and incidental. Their activity goes into a website and their team moves along a virtual race course. And that allows companies to put employees in wherever they are. So we're not geographically bound. We're also agnostic to everything: age, gender, location, designation, physical ability. So it's a very inclusive platform. And we feel very much that in the same way that disease doesn't discriminate, the solution shouldn't discriminate. So you're talking about your business model, and I want to understand from you if you ever looked at the wearables industry, whether you ever looked at the hardware that's associated with the fitness industry. And the reason I'm asking you this is a lot of entrepreneurs who have come on Leaders of Tomorrow have all been in the wearables hardware side of the fitness industry. Is that where the money is going? Is that where the industry is going? Is that something you perhaps looked at and decided it was not working for a particular reason? Look, I think the money is going into the wearable industry, no doubt, and it's a proliferation of devices both in India and across the globe. But we're very clear after being in the business for 5 years now that we're in the human behaviour business. The wearable doesn't make you fit, the shoes don't make you fit, the gym membership doesn't make you fit. It's using it. So we're less concerned about which wearable you use or which app you use, but more that you use it. And we focus on activation and engagement. At the end of the day, our philosophy is engage first and then make healthy. And that's how you impact human behavior in a sustainable way. Okay, so maybe you can give me a concrete example of how you're helping companies and employees actually make that switch. You said that it's not necessary that just because you have the device, you're actually using it. How do you help companies and employees make that switch? And I'm trying to understand your USP and therefore, what our viewers can possibly take away from that. So I sum this up with one line, that we bring a sports marketing approach to wellness. My background is in sports, my team's background is in sports. And in the same way that sponsorship must be activated, wellness must be activated. Buying a gym membership isn't the solution, it's using it. 80% of gym membership owners don't actually go to the gym. How do you catalyze that behavior to actually go and use it? So we focus on engagement and activation, whether it be online activation and offline activation. We do a judicious mix of both. And we work at an event level and also at a company level, because whilst there are general rules about what is good for you, at the end of the day, different groups of people also need different things to make them healthier. For example, if you're over 30, companies look at certain things. If you're under 20, companies look at certain things. So we try and create activation and engagement that is focused, that is both general and specific.
Why is it important that companies focus on their employees' health?
Look, I think at the end of the day, especially in markets like India, employees work hard and they work long hours, and work bleeds into your personal time. So I think and employees spend so much time either at work or dealing with work that I think if the company helps the employee within the constraints of time, space and money be healthier and fitter, then I think the employee is more productive for the organization and for themselves. You see a lot of companies now calling it compensation and benefits, which shows that employees are looking beyond compensation for other things from their employer to make them more productive. And our pitch to company is you want to improve your bottom line, improve the health of your company. Indian companies lose almost 10% of payroll to stress-related absenteeism. If you can reduce absenteeism, you can increase bottom lines. If you can reduce presenteeism, which is people being at work but not being productive, you can increase bottom line. So I think there's a dual benefit to having healthier employees. And as I said, in India, we're working very hard. If you don't answer your email on the weekends, your boss calls you and says, why haven't you answered your email? So I think if companies can help employees, then employees will be much more productive for the company.
How many companies do you work with right now? And I want to understand how a model like yours can be broad-based, because we talk to a lot of MSMEs, and most of India's 36 million MSMEs are based in Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, etc. Can your model be broad-based there?
Absolutely. We've worked with over 600 companies already, big, small, Indian, multinational, promoter-driven, institutional. We're agnostic to industry, to size. If you've got 5 people, you can participate in Stepathlon. So we certainly very much applicable to Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and looking to permeate throughout the country. And as we've developed our model to a mix of BYOD and device, now we're more relevant to a wider group of organisations. So we'd hope to slowly scale beyond the metros and the mini metros to many more cities where we'd originate participation. We already have participation in over 900 locations, but a lot of those are employees of bigger organisations. We'd like to have organisations based in Tier 2 and Tier 3 signing up for their companies.
One thing that I want to talk about is the role of the government in this industry. Even as the government is talking about Skill India, Digital India for corporate India, it's talking about Swachh Bharat. Do you think buy-in is necessary on the level of the government? Are you perhaps talking with the government about how important health is when it comes to corporate India?
We certainly would love to work with the government. I think it's absolutely essential. Like I said, you look at all the data, and India is a country that's sick, especially urban India. And it's not that difficult to mitigate lifestyle disease if there's a focus on it. And governments all over the world have moved towards prevention. Now, India is a country that's focused on illness, not on wellness, and we have to move the needle. And we'd love to work with government organisations to do that. The UK has a digital health organisation that focuses on that area for both kids and adults. So it'd be great for the government to take a step in that direction. We're certainly not working with the government at this point in time, but we'd very much love to do that, because I think that could really make what we're doing happen much faster.
So my last question to you, what's on the plate for you going forward, either the next couple of months or say the next year?
Look, for us, we're really excited. The last 12 to 18 months has been a big journey of diversification for us. We started off as just one annual race. Now we have customised for corporates, what I'm calling customised community, where we're using the platform to expand and engage organisations that are seeking to engage non-employee communities. We've got kids, and we're working on an offline mass participation event that I haven't seen that format before, so we're hopefully going to do that in the next year. So, creating multiple revenue streams, but using the same platform and principles is really what we're going for, and we've definitely put the markers down for that in the last 12 months.
Okay, wish you all the very best for that, Ravi. Thanks for speaking with us. Time for a break then. On the other side, we'll bring you a leader focus with the wedding clothing industry. Just stay tuned. Well, Welcome back with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight on Leader Focus, we're bringing a segment between well-known celebrity designer Archana Kochhar and entrepreneur Preeti Sahni on the wedding clothing industry. Do take a look. We talk quite a bit about what is happening in the textile industry, so it's very interesting to have another angle added to that industry. We talk finance all the time because I assume that's top of mind for entrepreneurs. I understand you have something related to finance for Archana.
Yes, definitely. So Archana, my first question is for finance, as in considering the emerging designer brand like me. A lot of designers, they take time to scale up the business. So I feel this is due to lack of the sufficient funds available for them. So how do a person like me can plan and raise the finance for the business expansion?
So the way we have raised finance in all these years is we've been organically growing. So we've never really taken a bank loan and grown in that genre. But what you could do is, I personally feel what would be nice is to organically grow and get your brand to a level where it is well established, and then probably you could get like a venture capitalist to come in and finance it, or you could get the finance, you could get the franchisee companies to be interested and franchise out your brand and then get the money in. But initially, in the initial part of it, for our kind of business, I feel it's great if we can finance it ourselves organically by selling.
Just to sort of come in on that, is venture capital and PE available readily for your industry?
No, it's not very easily available for our industry.
I was quite curious because a lot of industries say we find it difficult if you're not a tech startup. So I presume then you're saying it's the same.
The other question which I had, and I have read a lot of designers interview in which they're saying that a lot of time of theirs that goes in monitoring the production of the outfits and all. So considering the attention and bandwidth that goes in the production, I feel that there is very limited time that I have for brand strategy or brand promotion. So how do emerging designer like me can balance both the things?
Okay, so I think that it's very important to give a certain amount of time to the production of your pieces, to the actual operation and actual production, and it's very important to give that time yourselves. So I feel that a lot of designers, they are so busy, doing so many things that I don't think they end up looking into their production themselves and they leave it on to somebody, which I don't think works well. So at the end of the day, we are designers. So to give X amount of our time into production and producing those garments which hang there, I think is very, very important. I do it every single day when I'm not traveling, on my shows, and I think it's very important for everyone. As far as strategy for our business is concerned, I don't think that, so designers are basically creative, and I don't think every creative person is very good at strategy. So an ideal thing for strategy would be to get an external help from somebody who's good at strategy, and I think ask them to strategize for us.
Okay, that's quite a good insight that
do you have the bandwidth to be able to hire another person if you're the creative person and you need to bring in someone to do strategy?
Yes, then we'll definitely have to look into that. I can definitely take help from outsider rather than trying to do everything on my own and
because see,
not really doing justice to each of the field.
Yeah, because if you look at strategizing an entire brand and taking it to the next level, then I think that is a process that really does need, because everybody can't be good at, you can't be good at everything. You can't. So,
and is that a cost a small entrepreneur can take on? But and if you don't, then in the long run, it could possibly be worse for you than in the short run, right? If you're trying to do everything yourself, not hiring someone saying because it's going to be an additional cost versus having someone no matter what the cost is, because in the long run then it's better for you.
Yeah, and also it depends upon which route you take in the long run. So what happens is there's one route in which you want to really sell well and make a decent amount of money and keep increasing that. So you run a shop, you sell X amount of clothes, then you sell 2X, then you sell 3X, and you are increasing from, it's your sales. That is your, then another thing comes in where you want to do sales and then you want to do PR, and so, it's different routes that you take. So strategy also, if you're going to just do sales and increase your sales, there is that much strategy you need which you can definitely make yourself. But then if you want to do, of course, if you want to go to a level where you want to have your stores all over India, or then you need, of course, again, a consultant to come in at least once. instead of taking somebody all along, I think what would be great is to pay for a one-time consultation and take that, and then see if you can follow, because sometimes these consultants give so much consultation कि वो सब होता नहीं है, you know.
Sure. If you have any other questions, I just want to ask Archana one question, if I may. Given that you've established yourself, I want you to talk to our viewers about what perhaps has helped you identify what should be a USP, build on that brand, and maybe one or two things that have helped you in your growth story about building that brand, consolidating it, and being a name to be reckoned with.
So I think something that really was our USP and is our USP is our bridals. You know, so that is something that really helped us.
How did you identify that should be a USP?
That is something I began with, something I loved doing at that moment of time in my life when I began, and I thought, you know, I was younger, and you had just got married, and I was about 21, and you think that, you know, brides and bridals are so beautiful and girls look so pretty on their bridal day, and then you know, so I started making bridal lehengas, and I wanted every bride to look her prettiest self. I wanted to be etched in her happy memories forever. So that's how I began this journey, and I think brides also liked what we made. So that is something that is has helped us grow and reach till here.
Okay, are knockoffs and fakes a big challenge in your industry, and how do you sort of educate customers? You know, talk to our MSMEs perhaps who are working, or you know, entrepreneurs like Preeti who work on a particular line, and then you see something in the market which is similar to yours. How do you go about educating the customer, because I assume the battle is really won there?
You don't need to, because I think the customer who comes to us is someone who you know, will wear an Archana Kochhar. So like if I want to wear you know, a Bottega bag, I will buy one. It's not, nobody needs to educate me on that. It's something that you do for yourself. So our customer base of course has a choice to buy a fake and buy an original, and they will buy an original for themselves. So there is a difference in the fitting for sure, and there is a difference in the experience for sure. Otherwise, you know, but I think the people who want to buy the real stuff will buy the real stuff. And anyway, you cannot dress up the whole world or educate the whole world. You can, you want that niche clientele, and they will come to you.
Okay, sure, fair enough.
You know, so.
Yeah, Archana, you mentioned about PR, and my next question is about that. How important are the fashion shows for a designer? How important is PR for a designer to take the brand image forward?
So PR really helps in taking your brand and establishing it. You know, so PR doesn't really end up getting you a lot of new customers as people think. I mean, they think मैंने ये event किया, अब मेरे को बहुत सारे new customer base you know, will come to me and I will get a new customer base. That doesn't really happen, but it establishes your brand, and the customers who are already coming to you get little more loyal. They get little more proud of being your customers. So PR definitely helps, but the thing about PR is also that you need to continuously do it. People have very short memories, so even if you're there and then you don't appear for a long time, then you disappear from their memories. So you need to be at it.
Okay, so same applies for the fashion weeks also. Like there are these two big fashion weeks India has. One is Lakme and one is Amazon. So is it important for a designer to wait for a chance to showcase at these events, or they can go with the flow and learn from any other smaller format of the fashion show?
I mean, whatever works now, whatever comes along your way and you think that it's an opportunity. So, but you must remember, when you're doing fashion weeks, there is X amount of time and there's X amount of money that you're going to invest, and that is for your brand establishment. It is not for your direct sales. So that is something that's very important for us to remember from the beginning. You know, and we must remember that if we want to put in this much into PR, then it should be a similar amount next year or a little more. It can't reduce. It is something that you have to keep on doing and keep on doing and keep on doing. You know, results will come, but you have to keep on doing it, because if you stop doing it, then whatever you've done so far also goes
down the drain.
Yes.
So
it's
a continuous
follow-up
activity.
question on the PR bit. How important is social media in your industry?
It's very important. Today's day and time, social media is really important.
Okay. So do you want to then talk to our viewers about perhaps how they should use social media, how you use social media to build your brand? Because it's also very easy to damage your brand if you're not using social media correctly.
I don't know how you can damage your brand as such, but you can definitely build it further, but you have to be at it. So again, social media is something that, you know, it would be great if you have a social media agency on board, but more than that, what is very important is you have to be at it. It has to be something that in your 24 hours, you should dedicate that much of your time to it. You know, so what happens with that is you also start developing, you also start seeing, when you see something, you will say, oh, this will make a great social media post, or this with my garment will make a great post. So it's something you need to start educating and developing within yourselves. Ultimately, I think everything that does really well has to have a little bit of ourselves in it, as designers, as creative people. Otherwise, on remote control, people very rarely do really well.
Okay. Unfortunately, we've run completely out of time, but thank you both very much for coming down tonight. I do hope some of the questions you had have been answered, and thank you so much for speaking with our entrepreneurs in this space about how you've built your brand and what has worked for you. That's our show tonight. If you have anything you want to say to us, do remember you can always write in at leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com, tweet at me at Sunanda_J or LOT_ET now, or reach us on our Facebook page, Leaders of Tomorrow in ET Now. You can also call us on that number you see on your screen. We love hearing from you. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.